When I married into the British aristocracy, it was the start of a wonderfully exciting journey. But it was also a little daunting. I became a Viscountess, and for an American girl from a small town outside Chicago, that was quite a shock.
I live with my husband Luke, heir to the Earl of Sandwich, and our family at Mapperton House in Dorset. Mapperton is a glorious sandstone house dating originally from the 1540s. It is known as Britain's finest manor house, and it is full of wonderful treasures collected by Luke's ancestors.
Living in a place like this is a joy, but also a challenge. And every day we're aware that we're preserving a very special part of Britain's heritage. Mapperton has opened up an extraordinary new world for me, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
So if you love castles and manors and stately homes as much as I do, please join me as I head off to visit some of Britain's most spectacular historic homes.
On these trips, I'll be meeting other owners who manage these large houses and estates, as well as some of the fantastic people who work there too. With them, I'll be exploring the history, the landscapes, and the innovations of generations past and present. And I'm particularly keen to meet the remarkable women who, like me, have married into these families, bringing new ideas, energy, and more than a touch of style.
I'll be sure to roll up my sleeves and help out with a few jobs along the way.
Is there a snake in here?
Yeah.
What? What?
So please join this American Viscountess as I journey into the British countryside in search of some of Britain's finest historic houses. I'm spending the day visiting the stunning Grade 1 listed gardens at Iford Manor in southwest England. The gardens have developed over the past 100 years from the vision of Harold Peto, who lived here in the early 20th century. And in 2016, our dear friends William and Marianne were handed the reins to lead Iford into the future.
One of the gifts that I think my mother gave us was, and bear in mind, she took over Iford 50 years prior, was to say, essentially, to leave a spinning chair in the office. She sort of pretty much just went. And she said to me, I remember very vividly, she said to me, I know I'm going to hate a number of things that you do, but do it anyway, because you need to run at it. You need to go at it just as I did. And I think that was an amazing gift. It meant that Marianne and I could really start to make the changes that we felt were necessary.
Iford has been welcoming visitors since 1910, when Harold Peto was in the midst of transforming the Georgian gardens into a glorious celebration of all the places he had visited. And now, with the completion of one of William and Marianne's first projects, visitors can enjoy the wonderful food in the new restaurant and cafe, which is run by amazing head chef Jack Brewer.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, look, a little posy of pansies.
Yeah, because
How
I
marvellous.
hear we're making sort of cakes and maybe some tea sandwiches, but I thought we could put some edible flowers on them.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Is that enough?
No. But we can, I've bought some in as well, so we can make, we'll use these, I promise you.
I've never made a proper afternoon tea before.
Have you not? Okay, well, here we go.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's go through and I'll...
Wash hands?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, we all know how to wash our hands really well now.
This is where your station's going to be.
Oh, great.
And we're making a little nod to the Japanese garden, the Peto garden. So there's some yuzu in here, which is a lovely tropical juice. So I've mixed up some yuzu and cucumber and cider vinegar, and then chive butter.
Oh my goodness.
And then we've got this spread on here on very plain white bread, the cheapest bread you can buy. It's true, they make the best sandwiches, they really do. Then you're folding this over, and then we're going to cut them beautifully. So we're going to be cutting just into 3 samples like this, and then we're putting onto the plate here. Okay.
Right. Okay.
That's your brief.
That's my brief.
You're making one sandwich.
This is like quite an extravagant,
beautiful, aren't they?
tea sandwich here. I can't wait to taste it. I'm gonna just tell William and Marianne that I made the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding.
No. And then we'll dress them with edible flowers.
So I'm gonna fold it over.
Fold it over, and then you're cutting off the
Okay.
Don't know whether our parents would be very happy with us doing this, cutting off the crusts. They're meant to be good for you.
So all the crusts.
All the crusts, really neatly.
And
the whole thing about afternoon tea, in my opinion, is it's really precision. It's beautiful, beautiful food.
Jack, I don't know if you know this, but the family that I married into actually invented the sandwich.
Did they?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
they'll be so proud of you today.
Well, here's the thing. You'd think that I would know how to make tea sandwiches.
Yeah.
But the sandwich that the 4th Earl was, invented and it was named after him was actually, in one sense, roast beef between 2 pieces of bread, and it became the sandwich, the lunchtime sandwich that we all know. Not this.
No, this is something completely different.
Yeah,
it is, and it's such a treat to go out for afternoon tea.
Every American, I'm certain, that has visited, Britain has come here to have their afternoon tea. We just don't have the same wonderful, tradition.
Top cutting
Was
there.
that?
Yeah, wonderful. Now turn it round again.
Okay.
Super.
Yeah.
And then cut it into 3, so you've got equal sizes.
Okay, equal sizes.
I mean, I have known chefs to measure.
Oh
their
my
sandwiches.
goodness.
I know. It's that much of an art.
Okay.
Skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
lovely.
right? What do you think?
That's good. We'll go with that. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if you just kind of turn them up on their side so that they feel, so that you can actually see the filling.
Okay, this one I have to just do quick.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. Okay. So turn them up like this.
That's super.
Oh my goodness.
See
I
how
didn't
beautiful
know
that looks?
Yep. I'm going to turn
And then
this
you're just going to drape the tendrils, the little pea shoot tendrils, over.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm just making sure it's cut.
Yeah, that's top work. Absolutely wonderful. Well done.
So this one's okay. Okay, there we go.
Well done. Beautiful.
Like this.
Yes, well done.
Oh
top
my
work.
gosh. Well, I'm learning from the best. So that is true.
Right, now we're going to decorate some cakes.
Okay, let's go.
Exciting.
With my edible flowers.
With your edible flowers. Let's do it. So here we are in the bakery now, and this is a chance to go crazy. I've made a clementine and almond syrup cake with its. So before it was ganached, I made like a drizzle for it.
Right.
Lemon and orange and sugar.
Okay.
Which, when the cake came out of the oven, I just washed it over, kept washing it over, so it filtrated into the cake. So it's like, it makes it not heavy. It's a very light cake, but it makes it so delicious. And moist.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you this question because obviously I'm not a baker, I'm not a chef, but ganached.
Great word, isn't it? I know.
What does ganached mean?
Ganache means, so you melt chocolate, dark cacao, and butter together. Then you add some honey and cognac in there. Cheeky. And then it gives it the most beautiful glaze, which is really lovely.
Goodness.
That's a ganache.
So it's been ganached.
Ganache? This has been ganached all ready for you, Julie.
It's brilliant. It's my new favourite word.
If we move to the flowers, so we have your lovely bunch, and this is where you knock yourself out.
These are beautiful.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? So we've got another little surprise, which we're going to be using, the pink palette, which I was talking to you about. How wonderful!
Yes.
How wonderful you match.
Thank
Great,
you.
isn't it?
You knew.
And then the orange is going to go beautifully with the cake here. So I think it's over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to pick...
You want to get a little bit of kind of height in there and...
and facing out?
Exactly. That looks amazing. I've got some little nasturtium flowers, leaves that you could actually pop on if you wanted to.
So would you put it on top? Do you see how I've just put it on top there?
Yeah,
or no?
I would. Yeah, no, definitely.
That's too big.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. Okay. Like that.
I think that's stunning.
Really?
I think you've done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. All right, what's up next?
An angel cake.
Which
is just the lightest thing you'll ever eat. In the middle of the cake, you've got raspberries and blueberries. So when you cut into it, they tumble out, or they should do.
Oh my goodness.
That's the plan.
I'm sure growing up in America, yes, angel cake,
yeah,
right?
it's the thing. It's an American. That's why I did it. It's an American.
Gosh.
It's an American recipe.
I'm sure America, we'd have angel cake, so you did it on behalf of
I did.
the token American.
And it's a showstopper. It really is a showstopper.
Beautiful.
So, in a nod to what you're wearing, which I didn't actually know, and the raspberries, etc., knock yourself out with the...
I'm going to go pink vibes,
yeah,
right?
I definitely think pink is the way here.
Okay, and just sort of like...
You put it anywhere you like. I mean, it's not quite nice to have a sort of a bit of a sweet dress, you know, just dress the cake.
Okay, but
basically.
avoid the raspberries. Look, I really need like
No,
guidance
you can,
here.
I mean, there are raspberries inside, so if you want to take them off, I just put them on there.
Yeah, I love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to kind of like go like that, maybe. I don't know, fix
Beautiful.
it. Jack, you need to fix what I'm, you know, what I'm doing here. Look at that. I feel like this leaf.
Yeah, it might, yes. You see, what you can also do, I just pick off the petals. It seems a bit of an ouch moment, but they look really pretty just drizzling over the top. Just, I mean, beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's such a lovely colour anyway.
It is
You
beautiful.
could not have planned your outfit better as well.
I know.
So darn
I somehow
impressed with
knew. Look at this.
There you go.
Okay, there.
You see, I think
Now-
that's a work of art.
I do too. The cloister, built in 1914 in the early medieval Romanesque style, is a Grade 2 listed building. Being here, you feel like you're stepping back in time to the sun-drenched hills of Tuscany.
It's a building which represents a number of things, but essentially, as we came in, there was this inscription, "The Haunt of Ancient Peace." It's from a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson, The Palace of Art. It's well worth a read. It's all about creating a space that's very sacred to you personally, and this is this sacred space for Harold Peto. He creates it and places in it his objects that he treasures the most, that mean the most to him, and also it creates a sense of peacefulness. Ancient peace, interesting set of words.
It is interesting.
Ancient peace is this idea that it's been here longer than we have, that we are just newcomers, that this is the standard status here is peacefulness. We're the kind of aggressor into that, we're trampling on that potentially. So beware, traveller, that you need to respect the awesome ancient peace that exists. And this is that space.
Just a couple of years after William and Marianne took on Iford, they were faced with an unbelievably daunting problem. This spectacular building was in grave danger of disappearing into dust.
One problem we had in this building is that, as with all these buildings that Peto put up, he didn't put a foundation under it. So we have a 100mm, 4-inch foundation on pounded fuller's earth. Fuller's earth is a really expandable clay. So in the dry weather, we didn't have rain here for 6 months in 2018, so it collapsed the clay layer and the building was nearly lost.
Oh my goodness.
So it was quite a challenge. We took out everything from this all the way around to the far corner over there, and it was quite a job. Yeah, pretty much. So everything below the arches. And it was pinned with steels to hold the roof up. Everything was taken away, numbered, you know, stone by stone. And then we dug down by hand, no machinery in here, of course, you can't get in.
No, of course.
And took out the fuller's earth, replaced it with a concrete foundation, built it back, numbered stones, replaced the columns in their right orientation, resized, etc.
Oh my goodness.
And then, of course, we took the scaffold away, and that was the terrifying moment. The engineer just came and did it on a Sunday evening without anyone knowing, actually. And hopefully, that gives it a sense of continuity for the future, which is, of course, the sustainable approach that we're all trying to come up with for our heritage.
Absolutely, but you know, I know that you also won the Historic Houses Restoration Award.
We did. It was very generous of them to give it to
in
us.
2020, because how long did this take? This
was an 8-month project. And we finished in March of 20, but of course the judges couldn't visit during COVID. So that award was made this year, and it was very generous of them to give it to us. I'm sure the other projects were magnificent, but I think this was so technical, so challenging for people to understand how to deal with a fully arched structure. There's no lintels in this building at all. It's entirely arches. So if you move something, everything else moves. And that was the great challenge. So I think the engineers should really get the credit for this. The workmen, the craftsmen, they always give the prize to the wrong people, don't they? You know, the guy just commissions the work. But ultimately, this is about the amazing work of the people who built it.
Absolutely, and definitely well-deserved. I mean, absolutely, because you're right, it is that technical, it's not like anything's changed as far as the restoration, but we also have to remember that restoration doesn't just mean, you know, stripping things back, revealing something else. It means making sure that this stays standing for future generations.
Absolutely, and that is the whole point of creating the restaurant, the cafe that you've seen when you were with Jack, of creating all of those spaces to create some sort of revenue that will enable the garden to survive long into the future. These places shouldn't be parasites of a community or the people who live in them. They should be living and breathing engaged with their community. And that's what we seek to do over the next 10, 20, 30 years, so that Horatio, hopefully, or his brother or sister or whatever, can want to inherit this and see it as a real positive benefit to their lives. And it seems like such a silly thing to say when you live in such a beautiful place. But actually, you can wake up in the morning, you know this, you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, which tree's fallen over today?
Yeah,
actually,
or which leak.
Right, which leak am I going to deal with today? Actually, it's about creating an environment where there is the funds available, where there are the funds available to fix the leaks, to sort the trees out, to make it sustainable for the long-term future. That's really the point of conservation heritage. Now, of course, you round the corner and then suddenly you have this view to the valley beneath. And I think this is the reserved secret right for the end of the visit that Harold Peto wants you to see. Do you see the weir on the river?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the source, I think, of that ancient peace, that sense that this has been continuously flowing. It's never quiet in the Iford Valley.
No.
You always hear this white noise. And white noise attenuates other things in the distance. It makes things calmer. You know, you put white noise to get your kids to sleep.
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely.
So it's all of that, and it's that sense of positive energy of the movement of water. And I think that's at the heart of what the ancient peace is.
Absolutely. Wonderful. How spectacular.
And now it's time for tea.
I 100% agree. Let's go.
I'm certain Harold Peto would be overjoyed that his gardens have been revived and nurtured by the Cartwright Hignett's, and soon a new baby will join William's family to enjoy growing up in this magical place.
We've got the whole family here. Very exciting. And I'm sure your bump is going to want some cake.
Oh, I would think sugar
Tea?
is always popular at
Right.
bumps, isn't it?
I cannot believe this spread, but I do love egg mayonnaise, which I would say the American way, I'm afraid, is egg salad. Yeah, we say egg salad.
I cannot resist the chocolate and the edible flowers, so I am going to dive straight into that.
The whole point of an angel cake is that it should tumble forth upon entry. Is it worth finding a knife?
I think it is.
Okay.
And I feel Julie should do it.
I feel so. She dressed it so beautifully.
Gosh, I'm very nervous.
Right.
All right, Jack, I'm gonna make a dent.
Number one.
Oh my goodness.
I hope I've done justice to American.
Oh my, you're right, what's inside. It's so light. I'm just gonna make sure I get my nice little corner here. Fantastic.
Let's get that on a plate. Wow, look at that.
Look at that. Oh, and there's some cascading berries. You're right, where the center hole was. So I'm just gonna sneak these on.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Isn't that fun? Wow, I've never seen an angel cake before.
Have you had an angel cake?
No. I've never seen
I
one.
grew
I've
up
never
with an
beheld one in my vision. That is so
is
exciting.
Fantastic.
Should we do it?
Yeah,
Go
no,
on.
we should.
Do you want the icy end or the
I'll
fruity
take
end?
the icy end.
There you go.
The icy end. Okay.
Dive in. Go on.
Are we?
Yeah, we're totally doing that.
Okay. Cheers.
do it.
Well,
Cheers.
Thank you to everybody for such a wonderful time here
It's
at
been a pleasure.
Iford.
Great to
all
see
of
you.
you, for really spending your time with me, but also just for me to be able to experience, you know, what ancient peace really means.
Well, cheers to
Cheers
that.
to that. Perfect, Horatio.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? It's light.
Who knew Americans make cakes?
You now know. The most brilliant day out here at Iford Manor and Gardens. I mean, it's more than I could have ever expected. So I've come here really to visit the gardens and of course meet this one too. So sweet. And to visit the gardens, but I learned so much more. Not just about how special these gardens were, but really what they meant to Harold Peto, who of course designed them and really put such incredible thought into making sure that the synergies around the world were brought together. But of course, with Jack learning how to make the perfect tea sandwiches, and Troy guiding me in the Japanese garden. So it's just been a wonderful, incredible day out. The architecture, the landscape, but of course, the ancient piece.